All right, ladies and gentlemen, I recently posted a reaction to the new Boards of Canada album Inferno, and in that video, I stated that if that video performed well and if there was enough demand for it, I would go back and react to their previous album, well, not their previous album, but one of their earlier albums, Geogaddi specifically. Future me stopping in here just to say, ignore this guy in the background, by the way, that's just my boyfriend playing on his phone. Just stopping in to say that my hair is not greasy, okay? I had just watched. Fuck! I just washed it. Listen. This is my second time recording this. I said watch both times. I had just washed it right before I started filming, so that's why my hair looks like that. It's not greasy. It's washed. I'm cleanly. Wash your hair. I don't know. I've always been very fascinated by Boards of Canada, and Inferno really only furthered my fascination with this band. That album was so weird, it was so interpretive, it was so creepy and eerie, and finally getting to experience what a full album of theirs is like really, I don't know, really just set it in place and really made me realize just how conceptual, just how much of an album's act they really are. That felt like the musical equivalent of a movie, essentially, seeing the way it explored religion, the way it explored different, more surprisingly personal angles as well through its musical storytelling, the way it chopped up vocal samples, the way it kind of messed with what you thought you were hearing with a bunch of different interesting synth sounds and shit like that. I thought it was a very fascinating album production wise, and I'm hoping that this album, Geogaddi over here, will be the same. This is an absolutely fucking beloved album. Seriously, this album has an 87 on Album of the Year. It's in the top 230 of all time. People absolutely adore this shit. Like, actually one of the most beloved IDM albums ever created. So I'm going into this with very high expectations, also because I listened to Inferno and thought the album was incredible. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have too much blabber to get through before I get into this. This is a 23-track album, an hour and 6 minutes. It came out in 2002. Yeah, that's really all I have to say before I get into this. No further blabber needed. Let's do this. Track 1, ready, let's go. My 16 mug blends in with the green screen. That's so fucking awesome. Okay, similar to Inferno, we're starting with just like a shorter little ambient piece here, which honestly I'm fine with. The dated recording of this album only makes it better. What do you mean the dated recording? No rating on that opener. It's just a nice little ambient piece. Music is Math up next. That's the second track. Wow. I have heard this. Now, before I get into this, I do obviously need to state I have heard multiple songs on this album already. I've heard Music is Math. I've heard Gyroscope. I've heard Sunshine Recorder. I've heard Julian Candy. And I have also heard Alpha and Omega. I have heard a handful of songs over here, never the full album, obviously. But for the sake of transparency for people watching the video, I have heard a couple of these songs. And I already know Music is Math is a fucking incredible song, so... I mean, immediately, like comparing it to Inferno, there's that same creepiness factor present here that they went on to incorporate into that album. Oh yeah, I want to go through all of their shit. I want to go through all of their albums. All of their studio albums, at least. Go, music has the right to children after this one. Sounds like it's spitting, yeah. It's so fucking weird. That little be careful vocal there is so fucking, like, unnerving as well. Yeah, this is going to be an uncut reaction, like Inferno. I feel like an album like this serves itself pretty well for an uncut reaction. What's up, Ranke? Probably not, since this is going to be uncut on the main channel. I don't feel like there's any real reason for it to. Yeah, incredibly cryptic tone, but also carrying a very warm and inviting tone into the groove that's needed to be gripping yet unnerving in its intrigue. Absolutely. This song is bizarre. This song is so fucking strange and uneasy and uncomfortable to listen to. There is something about the synth sounds here, the strange yellow ball vocal sample, the weird wispy sounds that literally sound like, I don't know, fucking ghosts whispering at you in a haunted house or something like that. I absolutely adore how fucking strange this is as an opener. Nothing here adds up. Nothing makes sense. There's nothing you can really cling on to for a sense of comfort besides the steady drums throughout this. And everything else is just this strange mix of just the freakiest shit you can imagine in an IDM song. I love the production immediately. Such a great blend of very thick low end, but such like heavenly and like very open high end that gives this track such a massive sense of scope and range. They do such a great job at making this feel like such a filled out soundscape immediately. Yeah, I absolutely love this song. I've heard it many times, and I have to say every single time I hear it, I like it a little bit more. It's a high 9 to a 10 for me. And I was already in the 10s playlist. There we go. It's a pretty excellent opener. One of the most like striking and memorable openers out there, I feel. Next up we have Beware the Friendly Stranger. Move this over a little bit. Full Geogaddi recreation stream soon? Yes. The song was used in Salad Fingers. I've not seen Salad Fingers in fucking years. No rating on this, a nice little interlude. Too short to warrant a rating. Gyroscope. This was all done to tape with analog equipment? That's kind of crazy. I'm sorry to pause this song, but what the fuck is this? And why is my camera messed up? What the fuck is this?
Charlie and I were in the park. Then this man came up and said, would I like to see some puppies?
Don't go with this man. It could be dangerous.
And she said we'd been very good. I got an apple and Charlie got something he liked.
She gave me fish.
He says never go any...
What the fuck is that? Old Stranger Danger PSA? Could they have made it any more fucking unnerving? Why did that have to be the creepiest shit I've ever watched in my life? Exactly. She gave me fish. What the fuck was that? Did they actually used to show that to kids? That's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna run this song back. That's yeah. That's horrific. In every other version, the cat is just making a bunch of meow sounds. Oh, the album was based on PSAs and cults, I see. Oh, this was in Sinister, I see. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit on your guys, and then I'm realizing it's a little loud. Fucking hell! The song is based on one of the members' dreams. They tried to precisely recreate how it would sound like. One of their dreams sounds like this. There is something kind of liminal about this, I guess. It definitely does sound like being in a dream. But What fucking dreams are you having where you're hearing a child counting? That's like the fuck. That's just the most unsettling song we've had so far. Solid 9. 10 out of 10 because the kid said 6-7 in the song. Sounded like Daniel Johnston. Yeah. I don't know. Some really cool panning on these drums, man. Makes it, I don't know, feel like a machine whirring. The synths give it this very liminal quality, and this child counting forward and backward, and then the numbers just going in random order after that. It's very disorienting and so just fucking genuinely unsettling as well. This song is so fucking strange to listen to. Every single second of this thing is just equally as confusing and also genuinely frightening as the last. This track is just fucking strange. Every single second of this is so strange. That's how I would describe this album so far. This is a fucking weird album. Like, even more so than Inferno. Inferno felt tonally very set on itself. Inferno was still incredibly interpretive, but its creepiness came from it being very direct with its sounds. This album's creepiness is coming from me not knowing what the fuck is going on half the time. I am still very much enjoying this, though. This is still an incredible listen so far. Next up, we have Dandelion.
When lava pours out near the sea surface, tremendous volcanic explosions sometimes occur.
Sounded like Sam Neill.
In time, submarine seamounts or islands are formed. When lava flows underwater, it behaves differently. A new contraption to capture a dandelion in one piece has been put together by the crew. The preparation for a dive is always a tense time.
Oh, it's Leslie Nielsen. I see.
When lava pours out near the sea surface, tremendous volcanic explosions sometimes occur.
Boards of Canada, Dandelion reversed. Oh. Interesting. So you get like the fully realized version of the instrumental if you play it backwards. Worthless Beatles clone? Yes. This is literally just number 9. That's fascinating. Wow. There are lots of reverse hidden messages on this album. I mean, to have a fully hidden melody and a hidden song, essentially, in a reverse track here is pretty fucking ambitious. I mean, just the concept of this track in and of itself is enough for me to say it's like a low 9. That's, like, very ballsy. And it works. Because the, I guess, forward version of this song is already enough of a bizarre fucking piece of the puzzle here, talking about diving into lava to try and retrieve a dandelion or some shit like that. I can't fully pick apart what these what this spoken word shit actually fully means. And then the reverse version contains a completely different song in it. That's pretty impressive. And to have it not feel like a pretentious fucking self-serving bullshit kind of thing where it's like, oh, you have to reverse it to see the true intentions. Like, to have it actually feel like it adds to the experience of the album, having like hidden shit in reversed songs like this, that's honestly very impressive. Because there are times when artists will do something like this and I'm like, okay, I get it. you know, putting all of this hidden bullshit in there. It comes across as very pretentious a lot of the time, but here it feels like it's actually adding to the mystique of this album. Yeah, good shit. Sunshine Recorder up next. How's it going, Blake? I'm so overexposed, man. I'm gonna turn the lights down a little bit. I mean, that's a little better. Yeah. It's more an Easter egg that you don't need to find to enjoy it anymore, yeah. Maroon 5's 4th album. What's Maroon 5's 4th album? Hang on a sec. Overexposed, yeah. Oh, that has Payphone with Wiz Khalifa on it. That's a W. It's the greatest pop song ever written. I can skip the last track. I'm not skipping the last track. Gotta listen to the whole album. Why is the last song long? I mean, I wouldn't describe it as long. It says 1 minute and 46 down here. Oh, I see.
Beautiful place.
Geogaddi is one of the only albums where the Japanese bonus track is essential to the album experience. I'll get that up on the YouTube tab ready.
Beautiful place.
Is it From One Source All Things Depend? Is that what the bonus track is? up, Mag? Your most listened to album. Damn. Sunshine Recorder honestly is one of the most impressive pieces up to this point. Hi, Nine. The band are really flexing their ability to make a more percussive instrumental here. Obviously, still with the very eerie reverse synths throughout this song, the super creepy vocal samples kind of providing an almost anxiety-inducing quality to this song. But everything here feels like it's being all tied together by how massive the percussive section of this track is, whether it's the lead very steady and pounding drums, the reversed hi-hat sounds that are scattered all throughout this track, which gives it a very fractured feeling. Everything here just feels broken because of that, I guess. Indescribable atmosphere they create. Yeah, it gives it an indescribable atmosphere, basically. There's something about this that feels so steady and so at ease, but there's also, you know, all of the synth work, all of the vocal samples make it genuinely feel anxiety inducing. Everything feels like it's just so uncomfortable, and I don't know, it's providing that feeling of like being watched or something. This album is like even better than Inferno so far, in my opinion, in making me feel 100% invested in every single environment and painting the band are trying to create here. You know, these feel like little musical paintings, essentially. You know, Fantano gave the new album from Vince Staples a 6. Yeah, he also gave the Boards of Canada a 6. Two scores I heavily disagree with. Listen, I like Fantano, but he didn't fuck with Boards of Canada. He didn't fuck with Vince Staples. I have to disagree with him on both. In the Annexe, up next. I'm not allowed to like Fantano on the internet. Well, I do. Not only do I like Fantano, I love Fantano. He also gave Maid of Honor. Yeah, he gave Maid of Honor a 6. Saying that Maid of Honor by Drake is of the same quality as the Boards of Canada and the Vince Staples is just... that's upsetting, because Maid of Honor is one of my least favorite albums of the entire year so far, and Fantano saying it's the same quality of... he's saying it's the same quality as my favorite album of the year so far. It's just insane. It's insane. It is kind of insane. I'm getting a phone call from my brother, which I need to answer. One sec. Another quick thing that I want to add here, excuse the green screen being half up, it's because if you remember earlier, my boyfriend was in the background. He's now asleep and he doesn't want to be on camera while he's sleeping. Another quick thing here that I want to add is that I get like so many phone calls during this video, like so many. I have to stop the album like 4 or 5 times because of the amount of people that were trying to phone me, so excuse some of these parts being a little more choppy. Caleb doesn't have a key to my house. I could definitely see that. Some caretaker comparisons here. Yeah, another very like fractured sounding track here in the Annexe. It feels like more of an ambient interlude than anything, but its minute and a half runtime makes it feel like a bigger statement than it actually is. I'd give this one a flat 9. Strange, but a very nice, I guess, bridge piece between Sunshine Recorder and Julian Candy. Speaking of which, up next, Julian Candy. I think The Caretaker's a solo project, yeah. Didn't even notice there was a lyric page for this one until just now. Yeah? Crazy. I'm actually gonna... I'm gonna get Genius up and try and figure out what this one means, because this is the first track that's kind of stumping me for a meaning. This is a sample of the Romero movie, Season of the Witch. The biggest thing I have to go off here is there's a comment here that says, I remember a theory talking about how this song is connected to Julie Ponder and Candice Newmaker. Oh, Candice Newmaker is a 10-year-old girl who was killed during a 70-minute attachment therapy session performed by 4 unlicensed therapists, purported to treat reactive attachment disorder. The treatment during which Newmaker was suffocated included a rebirthing script. She was wrapped in flannel to represent a womb and told to free herself, while 4 adults using their hands and feet to push down on Candice's body, suffocating her. Holy shit. Then who's Julie Ponder? Oh, is she one of the therapists? Hey chat, remember how Finley was calling me? Now Caleb's calling me. One sec. Alright. I'm running it back a little bit. What do I think of Geogaddi so far? This album's excellent so far. Was the Taco Bell good at least? He didn't get Taco Bell, he was just complaining about it. The use of a vocal sample from a horror film here definitely gives this track a heightened sense of eeriness, especially with this instrumental. It kind of has this swirling, disorienting quality. You add that into the mix, this entire track kind of feels, I don't know, a little more haunting than some of the others, I suppose. Added the context of the proposed theory of this being about that kid who died from the unlicensed therapists, and that entire story that I looked into a second ago. This song is like fucked. If I look at it through that lens, this song is easily like the darkest of the bunch so far, like quite handily. And while that may not be what the song is about, kind of me attaching that to it kind of makes this maybe my second favorite so far. I genuinely give this one a 10. Like unironically, I think that this is like just the most fucked song up to this point. And it's pretty powerful. That background info would make this haunting, yeah, absolutely. The Smallest Weird Number up next. Can't wait for A is to B as B is to C. That's actually kind of a fire fucking title right there. If I remember correctly, the smallest weird number is 6010. The smallest weird number is 70. Its proper divisors are 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, 14, and 35. These sum to 74, but no subset of these sums to 70. The number 12, for example, is abundant but not weird because the proper divisors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which sum to 16, but 2, 4, and 6 are 12. I see. So what, they really fuck with the number 70, I guess? They weren't lying when they said music is math? Indeed, indeed. I'm honestly not going to give this one a rating. I know, it's a minute-long piece that, even though I gave a song like in the Annexe a rating, that felt like it was specifically meant to be its own thing, as well as serving as a bridge between these two tracks. This one feels specifically just like an interlude piece, so I'm not going to give that one a rating. 1969 up next. Next track is a real summer banger. Yeah. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm rolling this blue tack in my hands like this. So if I'm doing this at any point, it's not because I'm gooning on camera, it's because I'm fucking with this blue tack ball. I am balling indeed. Flex Entertainment auto-tune right here. Let's go. Boards of Canada indeed. Who let Julian Casablancas on the track? That's what I'm saying. David Koresh was a real piece of work. I don't know who David Koresh is. American Preacher. David Koresh was an American cult leader who played a central role in the Waco siege of 1993. As the head of the Branch Davidians, a religious sect, Koresh claimed to be its final prophet. I see. He was born in 1959 and died in 1993, only 33 years old. Look at. Is it Waco or Waco? Ever heard of the Waco Siege? I'm vaguely familiar with it, yeah. Waco? Yeah, I'm just to make sure I'm thinking of the right thing, I'm going to pull up Waco Siege here. Waco Siege was a deadly 51-day standoff in 1993 between federal agents and the Branch Davidians, a religious sect led by David Koresh. It began as an ATF raid over suspected weapons stockpiling and ended on April 19th when a fire destroyed the compound, killing 76 Branch Davidians. Damn. Why 1969 specifically? Because David Koresh, was born in 1959. Why 1969 specifically? That's when the Satanic Bible. Fucking hell, I can't read. When the Satanic Bible came out or something. I don't really know. I see. Because it sounds good. That's real shit right there. Yeah, low 9 on this one. Good shit. Another effectively creepy track, and one that the real world context really adds a level of horror to this one. Again, over 70 people being killed at the end of this shit. At the end of this situation, the David Koresh being a cult leader, leading this crazy religious sect that are stockpiling weapons and committing various violent acts, I assume. Yeah, to add like real world shit and context to these tracks definitely does make them feel a lot more actively horrific and adds to the creepiness factor tenfold, in my opinion. Again, the previous song, or not the previous song, but Julian Candy being able to add the story about the little girl in the who died in the therapy thing, and then this track being able to add a real life cult as part of the context to it. It's just stuff like that makes this more grounded, and the fact that it's more grounded makes it more of an uneasy listen. Absolutely. Yeah, we're like coming up on the halfway point of the album here, and I have to say, this is like just as engaging as I hoped it would be, and just as engaging as Inferno is as well. Genuinely think it's about children and cults. It's such a weird mix. Yeah. Energy warning up next.
Energy is becoming one of our country's greatest concerns. If we don't start working on energy conservation, there may not be enough energy to go around by the time I'm a parent. We're going to learn about how we can solve some of our problems through alternative energy sources. You can learn more about energy too. Call your county cooperative extension service for more information. Conserving energy is everyone's responsibility.
Fucking hell.
Call 4-H to find out
Dark
how
Side
you
of
can
Inferno
work.
has its roots in Geogaddi, but the melodic side follows the harmony of the Campfire Head phase. Is that another one of their albums? Yeah, that's the album that came out after Geogaddi. I see. I've yet to listen to that one. No rating on that track. A decent interlude. Again, I'm not going to be giving most of the interludes ratings, to be honest. Most of them are going to be no rating. Simply because I don't feel like they add enough or provide enough extra context to the album to warrant ratings in and of themselves, but it will affect the album score on how I think they're implemented on the whole. Up next, we have The Beach at Red Point. Beach at Red Point's a real place in Scotland, I see. Oh yeah, Boards of Canada. Of course, the all-time LARPers, not actually Canadian. They're actually Scottish. Really creative uses of percussion all throughout this album so far. Like, they're doing such a great job on the percussive front of making it feel so, I guess, wide-reaching and the different influences they're pulling from on the percussive side. Watching on this song makes it feel like it's being dragged and pulled along, yeah. What's my favorite track so far? It's Music is Math. Pretty easily. You know what I just noticed? That it's people on the album cover. I obviously noticed the trees before, but I thought like all of this shit was just a weird shape. Obviously being mirrored 5 times over. I never noticed it was actually people on the cover. Like default player models, yeah, these motherfuckers all T-posing. Oh, Geogaddi can be translated as two gods on this earth. I see. So what, is the album cover the two gods? Is it man and nature? Yeah, Julian Candy is my second favorite track thus far. Julian Candy was pretty great. Great transition into opening the mouth. Yeah, the beach at Red Point is one of the most instrumentally satisfying up to this point. An excellent, another excellent example, rather, of the band just having such great uses of percussion and really understanding how to take these percussive elements and really like broaden the album's influences through that. It feels like this, where Inferno is kind of the band really going crazy with sampling, this album is the band showing how great they are at using percussion to broaden the album's horizons. I'm really appreciating that. I love the... it sounded like a fucking like chopped up train whistle or something going on throughout this track, and even the synths kind of sounded like waves crashing into the beach or something like that. And just a really surprisingly lovely and inviting atmosphere on this track, which in comparison to everything else being, you know, creepy, haunting, or even at points weird and kind of indigestible, getting a track here that kind of feels just pleasant and easy to sit through around the halfway point is really nice. I would give this one a solid 9. Alpha, oh sorry, opening the mouth, and then Alpha and Omega. If this album makes you feel anxious, then buckle in for the devil's in the details. No rating on that one. Just a nice little interlude. Alpha and Omega. I think this is the last... Yeah, it's the last song on the album I've already heard. Beyond this point, it's entirely blind. I mean, again, talking about impressive percussion, getting some fucking bongos on this one. Just a general Eastern influence in general here. Oh! Kind of strange to get a song on here that's just like a straight up slapper, you know? I've been tagged in the Discord with what I think might be the original image for the album. It's just been brightened. Let me show you guys. Is this the original image for the album cover, just brightened? Well, obviously brightened on the album cover, I mean. Like, this is the original version of it, and then it's brightened for the album cover. Photo available with physical releases, I see. I think it could be Marcus or Michael on the cover. I imagine so. I imagine it's one of the two. Some very interesting woodwind here. I don't even know if that's actual woodwind or if it's synths that have been made to sound like a flute or some shit. A Sesame Street episode about the apocalypse. That's actually quite an apt description, yeah. Whoa. I've told this story a million times, so I'm not going to tell it again, but I had a very similar experience while listening to The Seer by Swans. And then I woke up after having a nightmare to 93rd Avenue Blues and I had a panic attack. Be a trio, yeah, they had a former member called Christ. This track apparently influenced Black Star by David Bowie. I actually can really see that. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, Death Grips. Of Canada track, Alpha and Omega, yeah. I could really see. I saw James Murphy being listed as an influence there too. But yeah, I could really see something like this influencing Bowie on Black Star. Yeah, this album, Kendrick Lamar, Death Grips, and some James Murphy as well. But you know, LCD Sound System, good place to pull from. The fuck was that? Little goofy fucking xylophone rise there. Wonder what K-Dot album it was to Pimp a Butterfly specifically. Oh yeah, C418 absolutely is gonna be like taking influence from Aphex Twin, Boards of Canada, stuff like that, absolutely. Oh yeah, Boards of Canada and Radiohead have influenced each other kind of back and forth a couple times. Like, their stuff was an influence on Kid A, then Kid A was an influence on this album. Yeah, Alpha and Omega is one of the strongest songs we've had on here. Easy 10 right there. 7 minutes of unnerving yet unabashedly groovy and moving IDM music right here. Bringing in the Eastern influences to give this track kind of a foreign alien quality while still making it so easy to move to, so danceable. Such a digestible track for how strange and diverse it is at the same time. A really great display on how the band can make music for you to dance to. I've made this comparison before. I forget what artist I was talking about. It might have been Swans that I was talking about, where this track feels like Boards of Canada feel like abstract artists, and the way you can tell if an abstract artist is good or not is, can they draw something simple well? If they can create a painting of an apple or a house and they can draw it really well, that's how you can tell that an abstract artist is actually good. And this feels like their equivalent of the painting of the apple. It's the most straightforward song we've had so far. It's the most danceable and digestible track we've had so far. It's the painting of the apple of the album, but it's still a pretty fucking incredible painting of an apple. A 10 out of 10 painting of an apple, I would say. Good shit. 'Twas a pity she was a whore on there. Yeah. I'm trying to think what my favorite track on Black Star would be. Genuinely, I think it would unironically be Lazarus, which is like the most generic pick possible. But that song is like maybe my favorite Bowie song on the whole. Anyway, I Saw Drones. This one's probably going to be another no rating. This one's an interlude. Yep, no rating. Devil's in the Details up next. Whoa. This is the weirdest, probably. Like the lyrics, I pull this one off from Genius. Oh, apparently the bass line and melody repeats the first note 3 times, yielding 3 consecutive sixths in a row. So it's literally a 666. The devil is quite literally in the details of this track. Okay. Next song has a Fibonacci sequence, Tool reference. Next song's going to be a 10 by default. Does this remind me of anything? Reminds me of a lot of things. Oh, and title broke. W. Hang on a sec. I'm going to fix that and listen to that transition again because title decided to break. I see. Okay. The Devil is in the Details is probably the weirdest song so far. It's like the most fucked up, soothing audiobook to fall asleep to possible. Texturally, the track feels like soggy. That's the best way I would describe that track, is it feels soggy. And that's such an uncomfortable feeling to sit in with a song. It's like, it actually makes me feel physically uncomfortable listening to that track. And that's exactly what they're going for. That's a low 9 right there. That is like the most uncomfortable song to listen to up to this point. I fucking hated every single second of that track. I hated the weird vocal effect, the way how wobbled it sound, the strange, like, twisted hi-hat samples to make it sound like you're splashing in a fucking puddle or something. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And the very monotonous melody on this track as well just makes it feel so tedious. And I mean all of these words as compliments to this song. It does exactly what it's aiming for perfectly. Low 9. Good shit. A is to B as B is to C. This track is like an Adult Swim bumper while you're on acid. That is a crazy description.
I'll be gone about a week. Oh, by the way, I owe that one. You what I've been arguing about.
Of all of like the interlude songs so far, I have to say that's one of the more effective. Yeah, kind of puts across the feeling of like being watched pretty perfectly. Like there's something about that song that literally feels like constantly checking over your shoulder, like you feel like there's someone following you or something. That was a pretty effectively unnerving track. Flat 9 on that one. Boards of Canada, A is to B as B is to C reversed. I'm guessing it's just this all the way through. I mean, if we're going with like the cult-like imagery that's been throughout the album, "We Love You" all being repeated over and over again in that very robotic manner definitely does add to the cultish stuff that we've been presented so far. Absolutely. Over the Horizon Radar up next. Oh, there's definitely psychedelic influences on this, absolutely. A lot of the reverse shit. Some of even like the Eastern stuff feels like specifically Eastern psychedelic shit that it's pulling from. Yeah, Hauntology, one of like the dumbest genre names ever, but very fitting. Very fitting. No rating on this. Nice little interlude. These interludes are affecting the album score, by the way. Just because I'm not scoring them themselves doesn't mean they're not affecting my feelings on the album at all. I think that these interludes are actually adding a lot. The moaning in this song is just Sesame Street samples of children saying "bye" pitched up. This album has such like a weird way it explores like Satanism through children and cults. It's so bizarre. This instrumental would make a really good hip-hop sample, though. Though I will agree with this, it does feel a little more trip-hop influenced than hip-hop specifically. In kind of how slow it is specifically. Inferno was a lot about like religion. I got a lot of religious stuff out of Inferno. It felt like there was some nods to AI as well. Like there was a lot of different things it felt like that album was exploring, and it explored them all very well. Yeah, AI and similar themes to Geogaddi, yeah. Hate to say this, but it feels like Inferno is their goodbye. I mean, after such a long break, honestly, maybe. Yeah. Perfect timing. My mum's calling me. I can't get through a single reaction without so many distractions. Hang on. Yeah, Dawn Chorus. I'm liking how much range they're showing on this album. You know, you're getting stuff that feels a little Eastern influenced. You're getting tracks that feel a little psychedelic influenced. You're getting this song here that kind of has a little more of like a trip hop influence. I like how much they're really flexing how many different sounds they can pull into one and make a consistent album under the IDM umbrella. Yeah, I think that the sound of this track is absolutely fucking perfect, essentially. This song has a really nice rhythm section, some nice chunky low end as well, but all of these like swirling synths, the super eerie vocal samples, the pitched up samples of the kids, just the way the album is exploring Satanism through children and cults is just like, it's not like it's untreaded ground or anything like that. There are plenty of albums that have explored Satanism through those lenses, but this in particular feels so fucking unnerving every single step of the way. It's just so weird, man. This shit is like, this album's like a very difficult listen. Like, it isn't exactly digestible at all, but it's so fascinating picking apart these tracks and trying to figure out what it is exactly they mean in a vacuum, you know? I'm in love with this project, basically. It's about as good as I could ask. As good as I could possibly ask for an album like this. Retreat in Time and Space felt like a goodbye song. I don't know. Again, I don't know the most about the band, so I wouldn't be able to say, but honestly, with how much of a storied history the band has, with how beloved of a catalog they have, I wouldn't blame them for calling it there. I wouldn't blame them. Feeling a high 9 on this song, by the way. Rabbit hole type out. Yeah, it definitely does feel like going down like a mental rabbit hole and kind of slowly losing your mind. Need to hear Blue Line's Massive Attack, their debut. Yeah, I do need to get into more Massive Attack. I do definitely need to get into more Massive Attack. Absolutely. Diving Station up next. Inferno felt more like a rebirth. I mean, after such a long break, it could either be like one last goodbye, or it could be the band coming back in a new incarnation, because I know that album, it was much more spearheaded by Michael Sanderson than Marcus Ewan. You know, I have no clue how to say his last name. I know it was much more of like a Michael Sanderson headed project. So maybe it's just like a new era the band are diving into. York on Board to Canada would be so amazing. It would. It really would. I mean, it's called Diving Station. It sounds like fucking spaceships landing and taking off. One is futuristic and creepy as fuck. I'm actually going to score this one. This is a solid 9. I know it's an interlude piece, but it's like one of the strongest interlude pieces, and it's one I would return to on its own. You could feel the sky. Sound makes your teeth hurt. Like dragging something or pulling. To me, it sounds like, I don't know, like tightening a rope or something to the point where it's, you know, feels like it's so tense it's about to snap. Everything else sounds so mechanical, but then that tension sound is it feels so organic. John Hopkins. I have not done any John Hopkins yet. I'm not familiar. I don't think so, at least. Oh. That little bit of brightness that came into the track there, that's... That sample said a god with hooves is a god with horns. Oh, a god with hooves, a god with horns, I see. Just playing further into the Satanism. I guess if it's saying a god with hooves, a god with horns, you could feel the sky could maybe be like giving into that temptation, reaching a perceived state of glory while giving into Satanism. You could feel this guy could be like literally feeling on top of the world after making like the most horrible decision you could possibly make. If you're a cult leader, you'd play Geogaddi at the gatherings. I mean, yeah, this feels like a perfect album for a cult-like setting. Absolutely. This song has some of the most like striking imagery so far. Little bits of color and saturation coming into such a mechanical, intense instrumental. It makes for something that feels so uneasy, something that feels so, again, kind of like one of the earlier songs, a little anxiety-inducing. But those little bits of color that come through kind of feel like an ironic moment of respite and happiness in this track. I see this as like, I don't know, making a deal with the devil or something like that, giving into Satanism or a cult-like figure in general, and feeling as if you're on top of the world after making the worst decision you could possibly make. And I think the screaming towards the back half would kind of be a moment of realization and being forced to live with the horrible decisions you have made and being unable to do anything about it. I mean, I don't know. I similar to Inferno, I love how interpretive this album is. I love how difficult to pin down this album is. I don't know. This track is one of the songs where I have so many different ideas of what it could be. That's my main interpretation. But there are so many different fucking things this could mean, and all of them are equally as fascinating as one another. Another high 9 on this one. This, again, this same as Inferno is an album that's going to require multiple listens. Maybe AI given the last part, or both maybe. I don't know if there would be discussions about AI this in depth on an album that came out around this time. Obviously, it's a theme that obviously had been explored in music around the time, but I don't know if it would be explored in this amount of depth and the way it's being explored here around this time. Happy to see more Boards of Canada, as am I. I'm happy that video did well. I'm happy people want more of it, because I don't know, this is a band that I'm having a lot of fun talking about and diving into a little bit more. What I rate Inferno, I gave it a solid 9. And yes, I will be checking out the bonus track. All right, down to the final 2. Next up, we have Corsair. After 5 seconds of silence, of course. Isn't Corsair a mouse brand? Oh, just PC shit in general. PC components. Hang on a sec, Caleb's calling me again. I'll restart this song in a sec. It's when I'm recording. Listen, when I'm not recording, nobody wants to fucking talk to me. When I'm recording, I'm the most popular human to ever walk the face of the earth. God damn it, man. Corsair. That's 5 times in the span of 2 hours. People hear counting on this track? Quite the moral dejected tone to this instrumental comparatively to the rest here. Almost like we're at a funeral, yeah. I can see how people could hear counting in this. That synth in the left channel, it like clips a little bit. It has kind of like a fuzzy high-end noise that could read as like very static, in like very close whispered vocals. And the fact that they're kind of playing along with the tempo of the song, very loose tempo of the song, it could be seen as counting along with the track. I could kind of hear it at points where like, oh, that kind of sounded like 17. That kind of sounded like, I could kind of hear it counting 6, 7, 8 at one point a little bit. I can see how that could be seen as count. I don't think that's what it is. I think it is genuinely just like that sound clipping a little bit. Because if the album was recorded to tape, I imagine a lot of the sounds would be a little more dodgy, a little bit more uneven, in a good way. So that being a factor in this, and even being able to pull that out by accident, adds more to the atmosphere of this track, I guess. I guess this is the closer of the album, Magic Window. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to experience the minute and 46 of silence and see what it adds to the album. This being the closer of the album is pretty perfect. It's just miserable. This song is miserable to sit in for 3 minutes. It's just sadness. It's regret. It is fear. All of it swirling around for 3 minutes through these synths. Everything just feels like, I don't know, all of your like shittiest decisions coming back to haunt you at once. And it's a brutal final moment here. It's a brutal final moment. I would give this legitimately another solid to high 9. A great way to, I guess, close the album. I'm going to listen to the bonus track. We do technically have one more piece to go with Magic Window. And listen to it I did, but I'm not going to include that in the video because it's literally a minute and 46 of silence with occasionally me responding to a chat. So sorry you're missing out on the minute and 46 of absolute drop dead silence, I guess. I mean, no score for this. Interesting that they add a minute and 46 at the end here, just to have the album go up to 666. That's the only thing about this album that I'm not crazy on, is the fact that we add in a minute and 46 of silence just to get the album to the 666 runtime. That feels a little indulgent, if I'm being honest. That's the first negative I've had to say about the album, is that's very indulgent. I think that's a very corny choice that makes me roll my eyes. Besides that, I think like I'm not going to take points off the album because I can literally just like, because it's the last like piece of the puzzle and it's very clearly not even meant to be listened to, so I'm not really even going to let it affect my score of this album. Before I listen to the bonus song, I am going to give my thoughts on the project. This album's fucking excellent. This album is absolutely excellent. Just an hour of truly haunting, very despair-filled, truly depressing IDM music that explores Satanism through cults, through children, through so many different angles, bringing in so many different sounds from trip-hop to Eastern music to psychedelic music to ambient, all under the IDM umbrella to create such a fucked up and truly gripping experience that does not lose my attention for a second for its hour-long runtime. I absolutely fucking adored every single second of this. Every single second of this album, besides the Magic Window minute and 46 of silence, is just S tier. Absolute S tier. Pristine shit. Such immersive production. Whether you're talking about how thick and ominous the low end on this album is, the very flamboyant and oftentimes like strange and foreign sounding rhythm sections, the high end being as open and as angelic as it is, and the way everything kind of swirls in this perfect tornado of sound essentially to create something that's so uneasy for the most part, to create something that is so legitimately creepy and unnerving at so many points, whether I'm talking about a track like Music is Math, whether I'm talking about a track like Julian Candy or Alpha and Omega, even a song like You Could Feel the Sky as well. So many songs that like pull from real world events that make the album feel more grounded, and that added groundedness makes this so much more of a genuinely frightening and fucked up listen. Yeah, the interludes I didn't give individual scores, but I would say they very positively impact this album. I think the interludes are what really flesh this out, the little bridges between these songs, the little moments of respite that we get on this thing as well. They just really allow this album to feel so fleshed out. They add so much meat to the bones that are the main tracks on here. And if it weren't for the interludes, I don't think this thing would flow all that well at all. We need these little ambient pieces. We need these little strange glitches in the system that is this album for it to really feel like a full cohesive experience. The calculated score that I have on Album of the Year here is a 9.5, and I would up that to a 9.7 out of 10. I would give this album a 9.7. It's a fucking masterpiece. Obviously, multiple more listens are going to come for this album. That score could go up or down. Absolutely. But as of right now, I am firmly going to stand on giving this thing a 9.7 out of 10. This is, yeah, one of the greatest electronic-based albums I have ever heard. Listen to it backwards. I'm not listening to the album backwards. Aphex next. I should do some Aphex Twin at some point, yeah. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's listen to the bonus song here. From One Source, All Things Depend.
The Lord is
my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down and read pastures.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost, as it was at the
Bara, Atah, Adonai, Elohim.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die
Our
before
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
God
Thy
bless my
kingdom
mother,
come,
my
thy
father,
will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
Interesting.
Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Enter Sandman reference. Shut the fuck up.
But deliver us from evil. Amen.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's an invisible person and he lives up in heaven. Up there. God is somebody who rules the world. He's sort of like a spirit. I guess up in outer space.
He kind of started all the plants growing, and he started people. Well, I guess he's kind of big and fat.
He can see us wherever we
This is the worst bonus song ever to label bonus song. We're not doing that. Absolutely not.
and he can still see us when we're bad. He could be sitting on the table right now, but you can't see him. If he was a bad man, he'd make everything bad. He wouldn't have electricity. He wouldn't make people. That's what would happen if God was nice.
He's not what a lot of people think is just a feeling, but I think he's a real person.
Well, I think that God isn't a person, but he's up in the heavens and he's watching over us right now.
Secret good ending? Actually is, yeah. Interesting. So this is kind of like the alternate true ending of the album. And I guess what this stands for is after you get all of this fucked up Satanism, these cults, everything, even children being used to exploit Satanism as well, you get a perspective of hope amongst other children where it's the complete opposite. It's children looking up to God, children trying to find the best path in their own lives. And it's a moment of like, actually there is hope, not, Satanism and I guess humanity's darkest desires in general is not the only option. There is still hope for a better future amongst children, even if a lot of them do get manipulated and brought over to, I guess, the darker side of humanity. Godspeed reference? Yeah? Can I play the good version of 1969, skip to 1 minute? Saw HQ Audio and knew exactly what it would be. For fuck's sake, man. Oh, it's so dumb. Jesus Christ. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other Boards of Canada albums for you. Let me know if you'd like to see me react to more of their albums. I would definitely be down to do Children Have the... or Music Has the Right to Children, I think it is actually. And the rest of their albums as well. That'll likely be the one I do next, though. You could see my reaction to Inferno somewhere on the screen around here. Definitely go check that out if you haven't. Like and sub if you haven't as well. We are on our way to 5K. And I will see you all whenever I next stream or upload. Bye-bye.